Is this Frankfurt? Where are we at today? This is great. So, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, hey, this guy is attractive. And if you're not thinking that, you're probably thinking, hey, I didn't know that a giraffe could wear jeans. And some of you are probably thinking, could you shut up and move on with what we're thinking and maybe tell us something that you're thinking? So, tomorrow, the wonderful Mr. Trump will be inaugurated. How do you feel about that? Wasn't expecting that. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Clinton either. I was like, yeah, racism for all. Awesome. I didn't vote for him, man. I didn't vote for him. I voted for Gary Johnson. Anybody know who that was? Anybody know who Gary Johnson? Exactly. Libertarian Party. They're pro-weed, like me. And they're pro-anti-government, or little government as possible, like me. Anyway, I didn't vote for Trump, but I do like to tell the Germans that I did. Because I enjoy seeing that face of displeasure that... It's awesome. And then I step it up a notch. I always go, yeah, white power. And just to put it over the edge, Speaking of white power, I thought it was funny. Laugh with me. So, have you ever noticed that the only thing that the Ku Klux Klan has in common with the Wu-Tang Clan is that they both say the N-word way too much? Ever noticed that? And the N-word means something different depending on where you're from. I almost stepped off the stage drinking too much beer. The N-word is different depending on where you're from. If you're from, Germany, it's Nazi. If you're from Japan, it's ninja. And if you're from England, it's Norwich. I don't like the English. They always walk like they got their finger in their butt. Here's a little practical advice for the English people. Is there any English people here tonight? All right, sir. You shouldn't have stuck your hand up. This is going to be bad. Just because you have Stonehenge in your country does not mean your teeth should look like it. It's called flossing. It's called dental work. I'm just saying, I'm sorry. Okay, as you all can see, I am definitely mentally disturbed. And when I masturbate, yeah, we're going there. Sorry about this. When I masturbate, which is more often than I like to admit, but when I do, and I happen to get some of my shirt, see, tulle is perfect, right? It's my tulle. If I get some of my shirt, I will throw that shirt into the washing machine immediately. Because my semen, they're like alive. They're like tadpoles of life. And if they're not allowed to do what they're supposed to do on this planet, and that would be to swim inside of a vagina, which mine did recently, and or butthole could happen too. I'm sorry about that, but it does happen. Okay, it's called YouPorn. Look at it. Anyway, if they're not allowed to do that, the least thing I can do for them is put them on a Ferris wheel. Right? Okay, just me. So, we're all in Germany, as you can no doubt tell. And Germany, a country known throughout the world for fun and laughter. I also started doing comedy in Germany, and people go, are you really a comedian? I say, I make Germans laugh. And they're like, oh, sorry about the question. I didn't mean that. But German is really difficult. I just learned the difference between Auflauf and Einlauf. And I gotta say, my butthole still hurts. I went to the doctors with a stomach ache, and I was like, der Bauch tut mir weh. And he's like, hey, vielleicht brauchen Sie eine Einlauf. And I was like, ich habe keinen Hunger. I don't know where you're going with this. And he's like, don't worry about it. And he comes back with he greased up his glove, and he came back with a tube and a fucking bowl and stuff. And I was like, gotta tell you, doctor, I don't like where this is going. And then he said, no, we're going to put it in your butt. And I was like, oh, you mean with my uncle's house? I'm cool. So, Germans have interesting sayings. They say shit like, ich wünsch dir was. And I always say, was denn, AIDS? Nein, Thomas, das sollst du schwer aussuchen. Du bist immer so eine Klugscheiße und so weiter. And I'm like, I'm just fucking, what am I supposed to say? They have weird shit. Like, the German people are interesting people. They're like robots that make cars. You know, not just the robots themselves, but they are. You know what I mean? Good. Moving on. So I married a German woman, half German, half Mexican. And I just had a baby, so she's quarter Mexican. Thank you. And that means the way I look at it, that 3/4 of my garden work will always be done. Is that racist? No. I made one, that means I love her. So anyway. But the biggest difference I noticed in Germany, like for example, give it up for Tom and Pedro, by the way. A round of applause for Tom and Pedro for putting this together tonight. One of the biggest differences I noticed is the difference between American beer and German beer. Because American beer is like piss water. It's horrible. It's disgusting. And German beer is fucking ridiculously awesome. It's the best beer in the world. But I realized why German beer is so much better than American beer. Because American beer, we drink beer, Americans in general, we drink beer to get rid of our feelings. You know what I mean? Had a hard day at work, your wife is having sex with the trash man. You know, you just throw down a couple beers and forget about it, jerk off and play PlayStation, you know? But Germans, they drink beer to have feelings, you know what I mean? Fühlst du was? Oh, ich fühl mich besoffen. Heinrich, du bist so ein geiler Kerl. Pow. Anyway, so another big difference I notice is the difference between the women. Completely different animals. I mean, I don't mean animals as in we are animals, by the way. We're not plants or fungus, so of course we're animals. But German women are just so different. You know, like American women, they're very superficial, you know. Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm like from California. You know, I live on the beach. I'm in a beach culture. I have a gluten-free dog, and it's just totally fucking awesome. You know, whatever. And German women, it's more like, Andreas, mach die Tür zu. Geh mal, Keller, hol mir ein Kasten Wasser. And what does Andreas do every time? Every fucking time. I'm sorry, guys, this is going to get a little graphic, but is it me, or do the German women have bigger penises than the German men? It's just like a fucking rifle sticking out from Auschwitz somewhere, like, Hans in the house. And what does Hans do? Okay. In the house I go. I mean, seriously, and then the Germans wonder why the Geburtsrate schlecht is. How do you have sex with a Tasmanian devil? I mean, how do you fucking, I mean, I do it, but I'm fucking crazy. You know, I like to smoke weed, you know, and do crazy shit to myself. It's fun, because you don't know where your dick ends and your hand begins. Whatever, just don't worry about that. That's a little sidetrack. Let's talk about German humor for a second. I'm going to say something that's really hard for the Germans to digest, but it's a joke played on words. Okay, here we go. I'm going to open a swimming pool for the Holocaust survivors, and I'm going to call it the Arbeit macht Freibad. That's a good idea, anybody? I'm sure someone's in the back going, oh my God, did you hear that? Helga, this is bullshit, I know. I don't mean it, but all I can say is don't go into showers. There's a guy in there with a towel, you know, he's always like, hey man, give me a quarter. I'm joking, it's because of the gas. You ever thought about deer for a second? Anybody ever thought about deer? They call them Geweih in German. They have these antlers sticking out of their head. And they use these antlers to fight other deer for pussy. And that's crazy, right? It's like, oh my God, which begs the question, how good is deer pussy, right? I think I got to get some of that. You know what I mean? But I'm not as big as a deer. I don't have antlers growing out of my head. How am I going to level the playing field? Easy. I'm going to either glue a chainsaw or a missile to the top of my head, and then I'm going to bang Bambi. It's going to be incredible. I will definitely come back and tell you how it was, ma'am. She's like, why are you going to tell me? Because you look like the deer sex type. By the way, what's going to happen? What's the worst thing that can possibly happen if your wife finds, like, you come home and you have, like, grass stains on your knees and you got hoof marks on your butt. And she comes home like, where were you at all hours of the night? And I was like, I was out with the deer. The last thing she's going to think is that I'm having sex with the deer. I'm just saying. So you guys know this Pokemon Go game? Everyone knows this game, correct? It's weird. What's the game about? The game is about trying to catch creatures that don't exist. You're chasing creatures that don't exist. We had a game like that growing up, but we called it LSD. But the creatures chased you. Holy fuck, a dragon! But the weird thing about it is that this game became so popular and people were walking out in traffic because people nowadays are basically mindless robots. Not you guys. Not everyone in here is very smart and intelligent. But those knuckle fucking dragon mouth breathing category 5 morons that walk around and are just getting hit by buses and shit. And they're like, well, he was playing the game. So they had to start putting up signs. You are not allowed to play Pokemon Go here, even at my company. But here's the tricky part. They actually started posting this in Auschwitz. Who the hell is looking for Pokemon Go in Auschwitz? Who is this fucking guy? Hey man, look, I caught Pikachu near the pile of shoes. You're an asshole, Bob. You're an asshole. Also, I know that's a hard joke, I'm sorry, but also, Auschwitz, not a place to be taking any type of selfies. Come on, it's death. It's here's me in front of the crematorium, hashtag who likes pizza. Don't do that. Don't do that. So a question for the guys. Have you ever been so drunk that you accidentally sent a dick pic to your mother? Well, I can't say I haven't. And the dick pic, you never get the one that looks like a vulture, like where the head's big and swollen, but the one that's like, not erect, and I accidentally sent that one to my mother, and I was really high. It was an accident. It happens. This is life, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we shit ourselves. Sometimes we do things that we don't mean to do. Anyway, she wrote me back. She goes, hey, Tom, you know what? I've seen this before, and I wasn't impressed then. So, why would I be impressed now? And I wrote her back. And I called her. I had to call her. I was embarrassed. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm fucking stoned. And, I made a mistake. And she was like, oh, yeah, I used to do stuff like that. There was this time I blew your dad in the parking lot of McDonald's. And I was like, click. Clickety-clack-clow. What am I supposed to say? Good job, Mom. When I see Dad, I guess I'll fist bump him. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Being a white guy is weird nowadays. Do you know that I cannot say that I love children? I love children. I just go to anybody on the street, hey man, I love children. And they'll go, what do you mean by love children? All right, let me rephrase it. I like children. What do you mean you like children? All right, fuck it, I hate children. How can you hate children? They're fucking amazing. So that was my, let's see. I quit smoking for about 2.5 years. Don't applaud, don't worry about it. I was starting to stick them in my butt and it was getting weird. Ask my wife, the poor lady, poor girl. Tomorrow I get my head scanned, by the way, and that's going to be great because I've had a problem with depression. So I'm going to go in there to see if there's like some peanuts or Chex Mix in there or something. And anyway, what was I going to talk about? Let's see. I was looking at these cigarette things. Like in the past, they used to be like, smoking is bad for you and es schadet dir und die Leute in der Umgebung und irgendwann mal kommt ein Monster und fickt dich in die Arsch und dann schmeißt dich über die Wand und dann ist es schlecht. And I was like, oh shit, I guess I shouldn't be smoking that one. That monster pack, stay away from that one. Anyway, now they got pictures of like children deformed, like black lungs and like all kind of really disgusting, like a horror movie. And these things, I kind of agree with it, you know what I mean, because I stopped. And this is there because basically they're saying if you consume this product, this will possibly happen to you. Which is stupid because they should have the same pictures on cars and whatnot. Like maybe like a body cut in half and a little girl crying. You know, like maybe like on a like alcohol bottle, like some guy with herpes and maybe a woman with a black eye. This could happen if you consume this product. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. I'll see you around.
So once more, a big round of applause for Tom Franklin.